Data modernization isn't easy. We have to understand that technology is constantly changing, and so as you embark on sort of a data modernization initiative, you have to think about all the different possibilities there are to actually resolve that issue. There isn't going to be a constant way or a single solution for everyone. We have to look at different environments that we have, whether it's an enterprise support, whether it's at a state level support, and so that will bring different obstacles within data modernization. And so depending what your environment actually looks like, you have to be flexible, you have to be willing to adapt, that there are just different ways to resolve the same sort of problem. And so that's important for us to consider, especially as technology changes. When we receive informatics or even technology requests for projects or anything in general, we always want to understand what's the actual problem. What are we trying to actually resolve? I think that's the baseline of any sort of project. We also want to understand who needs to be involved, sort of what are some requirements or specific needs that this division or this program is looking for, and also what is sort of the timeline or certain constraints that we need to be aware of. We take sort of all of that into account so that way we could sort of plan out what the entire project would take, and then ensure that we've got a good communications plan and a roadmap of when we would actually complete that request or that project.
We get together with the program staff who's working on has a process, but a technology solution could assist them in their work. A lot of them will say, oh, here's our process, 1, 2, 3. And we actually set up time with them and we sit with them and we completely work it out, because when we map out their process, one of the main things that shows up is where the bottlenecks are. And once you know where the bottlenecks are, you look at it to see, is it something that can be solved by technology, or is it something where the process has to be readjusted? And the parts where we see where technology could assist, that's the part we'll focus on so that we can take that for them, take that bottleneck, have technology, make it more efficient for them, and then they can focus on their program work and not spreadsheets and transformations and downloading and all of that. It's all ready for them to go.
The way that we're working with our IT program to help identify non-reported congenital syphilis cases is by having a FHII connection to our data warehouse, which is pushing birth records into that system. And then from there, we're matching it with our reportable disease data. And so what we're exactly matching is the mom's name on the birth record to a potential syphilis case. And by matching that, we're then able to identify a potential non-reported syphilis case. And that's really important to help make sure that that mom and that baby receive their appropriate treatment to make sure that they don't have any negative impacts of their infection.
So our data warehouse is an improvement in our existing informatics infrastructure, and this improvement allows us to have data for different areas of our agency, and that can allow us to improve internal case management, set program priorities. It allows us to create sustainable data analyses, as well as look at the disease burden across the different program areas here.
What it's really helped us do is drive a sustainable solution and long-term kind of goals together. And so that way, EPIs are no longer really trying to not only solve the problem and find the solution, but we're also now able to really just focus on the problem, focus on the analysis, and then get into the community to try and do something about that problem.
One of the main things I like to do is when we start a project with someone who's not so sure that this is really going to be valuable to them, is we'll do a small project. And so that way we have a small win. And by win, I mean, here's what you're currently doing. Here's what we created for you in technology. You can see the time efficiency. You can see there's less error because now it's technology and not human data entry or human processing. And those little wins are like, wow, that saved me 10 minutes, or I didn't have to do this process that I do every single day. It's already done for me. And so once they see that, then you just start to grow and grow and grow. And at one point, their project is done and the value has already been built because they saw it from the beginning.